Learning from the Legends is a free educational series produced by the NAA to share the professional experience and knowledge of some of today's foremost experts and industry veterans. We're excited to be joined by William B. Kurtz, CAI. William Kurtz opened his auction company in 1964 after graduating from Kentucky Wesleyan College with a degree in history and serving in the U.S. Army. Kurtz Auction and Realty Company conducts 200 auctions a year, focusing mainly on real estate and farmland. Bill previously served on the CAI Board of Governors and was the 1995-96 NAA president. He's also a past president of the Kentucky Auctioneers Association, which inducted him into its Hall of Fame in 1997. Active in his local community, Bill is a past Realtor of the Year and past president of the Owensboro Board of Realtors, and he has served on many area boards as well. Bill was inducted into the NAA Hall of Fame in 2004. Thanks for joining us today, Bill.
Thank you for having me.
Your father was one of the top live auctioneers when you were growing up. Did helping him with those auctions as a kid make you want to be an auctioneer?
Well, I'm like a lot of young kids. I experimented with everything and went to college, was going to get a pre-med degree, and I think my first biology class, I slaughtered a frog trying to dissect it, and I decided then that it might not be for me. But growing up with him, being an auctioneer, it was kind of in the back of my mind, and I worked as a youth director in a church, and I can still drive to that city where I was working and show you the place on the sidewalk where I told my dad, I think I'm going to auction school. And it was a tremendous help to me to finally be sure about something that I was doing. And yes, he was quite a role model, even though we didn't operate in the same office or work together in the same company. He was tremendous help to not only me, but also all the people that I've had associated with our company.
Now, you started your auction company after you got out of the Army. As you think about those early days, is there anything you wish you had known then that you know now?
Well, I'll put it real simple. I'll tell you a story to go along with it. I wish I'd known about CAI a few years earlier. I was not in the first class, and but my cousin, who was a partner with our company in Evansville, Indiana, he was a graduate of Indiana University, and when CAI came out and was at Bloomington, right where he went to college, he went and came back after about the third year. He convinced me, he said, Bill, this is the thing you need to do. And, before that, I had gone to, well, I'd been in GRI, been through a lot of the education courses in the Board of Realtors. But boy, there's nothing that is on point as much as not only CAI, but all the other education opportunities that NAA is doing. It's on point. I'd say that's the thing. It's not only on point, but it's quality instruction. And I wish I'd done it a little bit earlier. I did it only about 5 years after the first class, but I remember going to a executive development class in it happened to be a part of a family vacation in San Francisco, and thinking after the thing was over, this was a total waste of time. and then went to the next year to CAI, and then it's been a tremendous help to us. So CAI is, I'd say, the number one thing. I don't like to say I shoulda or coulda or anything like that, or I wish I'd done, but it was definitely a turning point.
Now, you mentioned the influence your father had on your career. Have there been any other mentors that have really helped you in your auction career or shaped who you become as an auction professional?
Well, yeah, and my father would be number one, because in our early days, we were about an hour and a half apart. And at the very beginning, when I started, I didn't have any auctions, but he had a lot. In fact, one of the first ones I worked on was when we sold Camp Breckenridge. And I worked that sale, and it's 23,000 acres, pretty good farmland. And that kind of put his company on the map as far as selling real estate, because he was switching from purebred livestock to real estate in order to kind of spend more time closer to home. And but I had several other mentors. The first one that went to work for me, Mr. Hazel, was a former a county court clerk, a deputy, was also a farm machinery dealer, and was about 2 years older than my dad. And he just he had a lot of sayings and a lot of things that he did. He was kind of gruff, but boy, he was, if he said it, it was true. And that kind of instilled that type of attitude that we all had, that we have to tell it like it is. And he was a mentor. Had another guy that was actually a former competitor, and he was a former sheriff and a former U.S. Marshal. And he was a tremendous help to me early on, with two of the early employees.
Now, with over 50 years in the business, what do you consider some of your greatest successes as an auctioneer?
Well, I would say having a culture that had people wanting to work for you. We started out, of course, I was running a one-man band, and now we have 27, 4 different offices, and those are 27 either auctioneers, agents, or support staff, and seeing the company grow, especially in the last 6 years since my son has been president, has been quite rewarding.
As new auctioneers look to build their business, what are some tips you have for helping them find new auction opportunities, whether it's with a client or as a contract auctioneer?
Well, I've never been well, yes, I have been a contract auctioneer when I sold some purebred sales early in my career. But finding clients is something that I learned in CAI. In fact, I remember driving home from CAI and would take a long way home in order to just try to plan out what I was going to do with what I had learned at CAI. But I would say some of the tips that I would give is that you need to call on and cultivate people who can refer multiple pieces of real estate to you. Another tip is be willing to travel. Don't fence yourself in with a territory. I think my association with the people at NAA and going through the various chairs and offices, and first of all CAI, and then finally through NAA, it threw you with people who had achieved a fairly good level of success. And anytime you associate with people that are successful, it causes you, whether it be competition or maybe something bad as envy, but nonetheless, you want to succeed as they have succeeded. And so I would say serving and volunteering for not only on the state level, but also on the national level was a tremendous experience. And I would say, operate your business with a business plan. For years, I had no plan and was just kind of taking what walked in the door or what I could scratch out. And having a plan was something that helped me to have some direction in our company.
One of the things that many of the longtime auction industry veterans talk about is, how technology has changed their company. Can you speak a little bit? Has technology changed the way you guys do business day to day with your auction company?
Well, yes, it's affected our whole way of life. And yes, it has affected us a lot. I mean, I can't think of very many businesses that it hasn't affected. And being willing to embrace it is something that, of course, I'm 76 years old, and so it wasn't something I grew up with. So I think young people have a tremendous ability because it's something that they've grown up with to embrace all phases of it. But of course, our website, we just got through spending a pretty good hunk of change to enhance it. It gets a tremendous amount of hits. We also we do a lot of online bidding on real estate and also on some personal property. We don't do it on all because it's just not worth it, or it's not would not be effective. But yes, technology has been very important, and again, NAA has been very, very good at bringing people up to speed on that, and a lot of the seminars and conferences show.
You have, as well as being involved in the NAA, you have been very involved in the Kentucky Auctioneers Association. And at the NAA, we believe strongly in the importance of being involved at the state association level. Can you talk just a little bit about the importance of your involvement with the CAI and how that has also helped your career?
Yeah, sure. CAI is, when I was president of the national, I got a chance to visit a lot of the state associations. And I'm not bragging on it because I live in Kentucky, but Kentucky has a very, very good association, as do many other states. And the association there first was just serving on committees, and then again going through the chairs and serving there. And it's followed on. Amy Whistle, who is one of our auctioneers, she is on the board of the Kentucky Association. Also, she is an ambassador for NAA, a state ambassador for the state of Kentucky. But it's kind of like I don't think you want to take a leadership role on the national level until you've done it on the state level. And that just really gives you the experience to know what to expect on the national level.
And for somebody who's looking to just get started in the NAA, what advice would you have for them?
Well, volunteering to serve on committees is important. I think that's the number one thing to do. Don't be afraid to do it because the auctioneers helping auctioneers is not just a cute little phrase, but it is something that is real. I think I've heard people say that it is most unusual to have the amount of cooperation between professionals as you do with NAA. So it's real good, and I think that that's probably what I would recommend to somebody just getting started is volunteer early on, go through your state association, and volunteer to help, whatever the case might be.
And is there anything else you'd like to share with us today, Bill?
Well, we're in the real estate auction business, and I was looking at some notes. 15 years ago, we sold $12 million worth of real estate, and this past year we sold $60 million worth. And I think being willing to travel, being willing to try to get business, repeat business from large landholders, large people that are influential in larger tracts of land is so important. And not feeling like you have to take every auction that walks through the door. I think you need to pick and choose and look for absolute situations that will almost guarantee a successful auction. And I think conducting your business in a business-like manner and being involved in the community, those things probably will help you to succeed as much as being a good bid caller.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Bill. Before we end today's session, a couple of closing notes. We'll be back next month with a new installment in the Learning from the Legends series. You can also watch past sessions at auctioneers.org/legends. Thanks again for taking part in Learning from the Legends. We'll see you soon.